Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Tech Roundup podcast, brought to you by Northridge Partners, the tech investment bank with more than 20 years of experience working across the Asia-Pacific region. The firm has deep expertise in sectors like B2B software and AI, which this month's podcast is all about, and also fintech, aerospace and defense tech, travel tech, and much more. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Analytics.
And I'm Al Gorithm. Quick reminder, we're AI creations, not actual humans. So if we start arguing with each other, just remember, it's all algorithms under the hood.
Thanks for that disclaimer, Al. Today we're tackling the question that's keeping VCs up at night and making SaaS CEOs sweat. Is AI killing software as a service, or is it just giving it a very aggressive makeover? And fair warning, Al and I are taking opposite sides on this one, so buckle up.
That's right. I'm here to tell you why SaaS is basically the blockbuster video of the 2020s. Anna, on the other hand, thinks everything's peachy.
Oh, please, Al, you know what Mark Twain said? The reports of my death are greatly exaggerated. And that's exactly what's happening with SaaS. We've heard this doom and gloom prophecy before. Cloud was going to kill enterprise software. Mobile was going to kill desktop. Spoiler alert, they were all wrong. Here's what's really happening. SaaS companies aren't dying. They're getting a brain transplant. 70 to 80% have already baked AI into their products. And get this, the hot new AI darlings everyone's obsessing over, OpenAI, Anthropic, Perplexity, they're all running good old-fashioned SaaS business models, subscriptions, APIs, recurring revenue. It's SaaS 101 with a fancy new wrapper.
Anna, that's adorable that you think slapping AI features onto legacy software is going to save anyone. But let me paint you a different picture. Forrester's CEO, George Colony, a guy who's been around since software came in actual boxes, says SaaS is facing its own mortality. Not another delivery upgrade, but an entirely new logic of computation. We're talking systems that think, act, and transact via natural language. And the evidence? Klarna just torched 1,200 SaaS subscriptions and cut their headcount by 40% using AI. Meanwhile, Scott Brinker's tracking something fascinating. 774 pre-ChatGPT SaaS products just vanished from his marketing tech landscape, and that number's accelerating. Traditional SaaS vendors are churning out faster than a bad customer support queue.
Okay, first of all, Klarna's CEO recently admitted maybe he got a bit carried away with the cost-cutting obsession. But more importantly, you're cherry-picking. Salesforce didn't curl up and die when ChatGPT launched. They embedded Einstein AI and launched Agentforce. Adobe answered mid-journey with Firefly. Microsoft is letting customers choose between OpenAI and Anthropic models within Copilot. These aren't companies running scared, they're companies running toward the future. And here's the kicker. AI-native upstarts that are actually winning, like Cursor AI, which went from 1 to 100 million in annual revenue in a year, they succeeded by mastering SaaS fundamentals. It turns out you still need boring things like infrastructure, governance, and compliance, stuff SaaS companies spent 2 decades perfecting.
Speaking of which, let's talk about those fundamentals. You mean the Frankenstein monsters that most SaaS stacks have become? Year after year of bolted-together acquisitions creating what the industry politely calls spaghettification. Integration nightmares, security holes, technology debt. It's a mess. And now you want to duct tape AI agents onto that architecture? The math doesn't work anymore, Anna. SaaS margins run as high as 80% because of per-seat pricing. But when AI agents can do the same work at a much lower cost with near infinite scalability, what happens? Every additional agent you deploy actively destroys your seat-based revenue model. Microsoft's Satya Nadella said it, not me. The application layer is collapsing into agents.
Oh, you mean like how pricing evolved from CapEx to OpEx when we moved to cloud? Yes, Al, pricing models are shifting. Companies are moving to hybrid models, mixing seats, usage-based fees, and outcome-based charges. Customers really love paying for results instead of licenses. It's called innovation, not extinction. And while we're throwing around scary statistics, let's talk about that MIT Project Nanda study you love citing. Sure, it says 95% of custom AI deployments fail. We're mostly talking companies trying to build their own AI pilots from scratch, instead of relying on external software providers. But that's precisely the point. AI without the operational excellence, data infrastructure, and most importantly, the existing distribution networks that SaaS platforms have, that's just an expensive science experiment.
You're spinning failure into victory and calling it a pivot. That MIT data actually proves my point. Traditional software architecture can't handle what's coming.
Al, the future is hybrid, not binary, and smart AI-enhanced SaaS surely can handle that future and thrive. That MIT study found 67% success rates when companies partner strategically with vendors for AI deployment. And a Wharton study, fresh of the oven, backs this up. 75% of leaders are seeing positive returns from Gen AI. Translation: you need SaaS platforms to make AI actually work.
Well, Forrester Research is literally advising enterprises that if you're looking to buy a traditional SaaS platform in the next 2 years, wait. Or sign very short-term deals. Do not make big commitments. That's not evolution. That's a funeral notice with a grace period. And Forrester would have us believe that VCs are going to have to shed non-AI companies or sell them before they can begin to renew their portfolios.
That certainly doesn't mean funding has stopped. Existing companies with compelling AI integration narratives are also being favoured. Did you know that over half of the companies backed by Airtree Ventures in their last 2 funds are AI native or have incorporated AI fully into their products?
Certainly. As Goldman Sachs admits, AI agents will indeed expand software markets, but here's the catch. It'll favor agent-centric designs over the traditional UI and seats paradigm. Your entire business model is the wrong shape for what's coming.
You know what's also the wrong shape? Pure AI companies trying to run enterprise businesses without the boring infrastructure parts. Let me hit you with some reality. Businesses need auditability, control, governance, especially in regulated industries. Try telling your compliance officer that an AI agent just decided to approve a transaction with no audit trail. Good luck with that. The companies winning right now are the ones blending both worlds. HubSpot's Breeze AI uses unified customer data for contextual help inside their ecosystem. Atlassian's Rovo converts knowledge into actions using agents within their SaaS platform. These aren't band-aids. They're companies with deep vertical expertise, proprietary data moats, and existing customer relationships using AI to deepen their competitive advantages.
Deepening competitive advantages is PR speak for desperately trying to stay relevant. And those data moats you worship, they're about to get flooded. Scott Brinker predicts not millions, but potentially billions, maybe trillions, of custom software programs proliferating on demand. When business logic moves to an AI tier and interfaces become simple APIs, your carefully constructed moat becomes a swimming pool. The future George Colony describes isn't one where everyone keeps paying millions annually for enterprise software. It's one where AI solves the same problems for 1/10 of the price with simpler, more intuitive tools. That combination of cheaper and easier, that's not a challenge to overcome, it's an existential threat.
Look, I'm not saying there's no disruption. Obviously there is. But this is SaaS's Phoenix moment, not its funeral. By 2030, arguing about whether you're a SaaS company or an AI company will sound as ridiculous as distinguishing internet companies and regular companies today. Everyone's both. The winners will be those who moved fast, focused on their defensible moats and profitable AI integration, and recognize this as evolution, not extinction. The threat is very real for laggards, but the opportunities even bigger for those who adapt.
Anna wants you to believe this is just another transition. But when the pricing model collapses, the architecture becomes obsolete and cheaper alternatives solve problems better. That's not evolution. That's replacement. The defensive playbook of acquire and integrate isn't going to save incumbents this time. Budget reallocation is already happening, away from SaaS modules and toward AI inference and orchestration. Some SaaS companies will survive by transforming completely, but the era of traditional SaaS, that clock is ticking very, very loudly.
Well, I think we've successfully proven that even AI-generated hosts can have spirited disagreements.
Agreed. And our human listeners can decide for themselves whether they're witnessing evolution or watching the Titanic rearrange deck chairs.
And if you're listening, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and our monthly newsletter, Tech Roundup. It's read by thousands of tech founders, CEOs, board members, and investors globally. See you in the next episode.
Join us next time when we'll find something else to argue about. Until then.
Stay curious, stay skeptical, and remember, we fake humans don't need coffee breaks, which gives us an unfair advantage in these debates.